I chased the same goal with my financial situation for 4 years and never got there. Not because I wasn't working hard. The root cause was the set of hidden limiting beliefs, and the problem was that I couldn't actually see it. In this video, I'm sharing how I did it. It's called the why drill, and in the next 10 minutes, I'm walking you through the exact process that revealed my invisible roadblock, and it's the same process I now use with every client I mentor, and it just works. By the end, you'll know the precise belief throttling your momentum, and I'll show you how to craft a personalized counter statement that dismantles it. Not a generic affirmation, but a targeted specific counter statement for your specific mental block. You're not getting information in this video, you're getting transformation. Before we can uncover the limiting belief, we need to get brutally honest about what we actually want, not what we think we're supposed to want. Not what would impress someone, the thing your chest tightens around when you say it out loud. Because the subconscious won't reveal the real block until we name the real desire. Grab a pen and a paper and write it down. I want blank. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want to finally launch that business. I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to leave the job. Whatever that is, that desire has to be your biggest desire at the moment. Write it down. For the purpose of this walkthrough, I'm going to use the desire I hear most from my clients, and it usually reveals the deepest programming. I want to make more money. Now we begin the why work. Why? Why do you want more money? And we can hear like, oh, I want more money because I want financial freedom. And freedom is almost always the first answer. It's logical, obvious, socially acceptable, but we don't stop at socially acceptable answers. We go deeper. Because I want financial freedom because I'm tired of feeling stressed and limited all the time. Good. We're shifting from intellectual to emotional desires, to this emotional discomfort. Because I'm tired and feeling stressed and limited. Great. Why are you feeling stressed? Maybe the answer is, well, I feel like I'm falling behind. Like everyone else is building their life and I'm just trying to survive, and that's why I'm stressed. That's great. Now we hit the ego comparison and identity and we keep going. All right, I'm falling behind. Again, why? Why it's the problem? Why does falling behind feels painful to you? And the answer might be, if I fail, I won't be able to take care for people I love. Keep digging deeper into that as many whys as needed. And we did 4 whys, and here we reached the real story. It was never about luxury or more for the sake of more. Dig deeper into that as many whys as needed to reveal the root fear-based belief. Write down your answers. Don't stop until you go to the root. Because if I fail, I won't be able to take care of people I love. Why? You keep doing that. Why? Why is the problem? Because I'm afraid I can't provide for my family. The people who depend on me, my family. After several of those whys, the subconscious reveals the true program. Money was never about status or success or keeping up. It was about safety. The safety of your loved ones, your family, and the terror that money won't be enough to protect them. This is why just work harder doesn't work. Just save more money doesn't work. Why does every financial goal you set feel like pushing a boulder uphill? Because you're not fighting a money problem. You're fighting a belief that says, if I don't earn enough money, I will not be able to provide for the people that I love and they will suffer, and that's going to be my fault. That's the invisible program running in the background. That belief that tapping the brakes every time you accelerate. Once you see it, you can finally address it. And here's the true limiting belief. This is your limiting belief. I want more money because if I don't earn enough money, that my family will suffer and it will be my fault. If you don't rewire that blueprint, your life will keep repeating the same shape no matter how many times you try to build something new. Right now, your job is to take that fear and turn it into sentence. I believe. Start with I believe. Now, we don't want something. We believe that if we don't earn enough, our family will suffer and it will be our fault. And we apply the same why drill. It could be 5 why drill, it could be infinite amount of why drill. You don't stop until you go to the root, because that belief didn't came from nowhere. Let's dig it up. Why? Why do you believe that if you don't earn enough, your family will suffer? Because growing up, love and support were measured through money. Money was proof of care, especially for immigrants like myself. Love wasn't expressed by feeling or hugs or presents. It was expressed through survival. Food on a table meant love. Rent paid meant love. Sacrifice meant love. And the subconscious absorbs that formula like scripture. For subconscious, money equals love. That's why. But why? Why does love feel conditional on financial support? That's a great question. Maybe it's because when I provided, I was loved, and we argued when I didn't. Even if no one said it out loud, but the nervous system learns faster than language. If your achievements earned attention, validation, even temporarily, then your body encoded this belief as I'm valued when I produce. But that's the false belief. That's the childhood survival strategy. Ask why as many times as necessary until you hit the emotional root, not the logical justification. You'll know you reached the root when the answer shifts from thinking to feeling, from goal to fear. Because every single limiting belief always ends in fear. Fear of not being good enough, fear of being judged, fear of losing love, safety, or connections. There you go. I believe that if I don't earn enough money, I will lose my family. That's the root fear. We don't need money for the sake of money. We need money because we are afraid that we're going to lose our families otherwise. We grow up believing that enough money equals safety and therefore rest equals danger, which is why we grind, hustle, and push until our nervous system is trained to believe that slowing down equals falling behind. But once we recognize that subconscious isn't chasing money, it's chasing safety, we can flip the entire pattern by teaching the subconscious a new truth. In the following section, I'll reveal how we can craft a special counter-statement so that safety comes from within. Because when safety comes from within, rather than from financial outcomes, money stops being a survival response and becomes a natural result of grounded confidence and aligned action. But before we rewire that belief, look around and see what is true right here, right now. You are here, watching a video. Most people don't even search for that type of videos because you are investing time in yourself, because you are learning, because you are growing, and growth itself is a proof that you are already creating safety. Look around your life for a moment. You have a roof over your head. You have a device that's connected to internet. You have food, you have water, electricity, and you get to choose what you do with your time. And look what you choose. You choose to learn, you choose to grow. Isn't it beautiful? And if you look back through your life, every time things felt uncertain, every time money felt tight, every time you thought this might be the end, you still found a way. You always provided enough for people you love. You, not the money, were the source of their safety. I do not believe if I don't earn enough money, I will lose my family. And that's your counter statement right here. That's your counter statement. I don't believe that if I don't earn enough money, I will lose my family anymore. I don't believe that. Why? Because I am the source of safety for my family. That's your counter statement. Your weapon to fight that limiting belief is I am the source of safety for my family. I have always provided enough money, and I will always provide enough money because I love them so much. My family will always be safe because I am the source of safety, not the money. I am the source of safety for my family. Write it down. Whatever your core desire is, whether it's money, losing weight, dig deeper to your core belief. Identify that fear behind that belief and write yourself a counter statement and make that counter statement your mantra. Repeat it constantly. But the mantra alone won't work unless you pair it with emotion. It's not just saying the words, not just thinking positive thoughts. You need to anchor it in your body, because your subconscious doesn't speak any language. It speaks in sensation, it speaks emotions. So how do you do that? Step 1. You close your eyes and bring up a memory. Any memory where you felt completely safe. Maybe it's holding your child. Maybe it's a moment when everything just worked out. Maybe it's sitting with someone you loved in the park and feeling like nothing else matters. Maybe that could be the summer vacation you took in your childhood and you felt very safe and you didn't need to even think about the money. Find that memory. Feel where it lives in your body. Sense that emotion. Is that warmth in your chest? Maybe relaxed shoulders, a softness in your belly. Locate that sensation, feel it with your closed eyes. Just allow yourself to feel that emotion while you're thinking about that memory. And when you actually feel that emotion, you say your mantra out loud. I am the source of safety for my family. I am the source of safety for my family. I always provided enough and I will always provide enough for them because I love them so much. And then you pause and you just breathe. Feel the words landing in your body while the safety sensation is still there, still active. And this is how you rewire your subconscious. You repeat that process. You're not doing it through forcing or talking yourself. You remember that feeling of safety, and that memory will bring you this feeling in the moment of now. And then you reinforce that mantra that's attacking your core limiting belief based on fear. So do this practice of repeating that counter statement every morning for 30 days for at least 5 minutes. And that's it. And watch what happens when your nervous system finally downregulate and stop being in a survival mode and start operating from safety. Because when safety comes from within rather than from financial outcomes, money stops being a survival response and becomes a natural result of your nervous system downregulation and aligned action. That's the turning point when receiving becomes effortless. Because money flows to people who feel safe to receive it. Here's what we did. Step 1, we identified our desire. Then we applied the why drill to unlock the limiting belief. Then we applied the same why drill to a limiting belief and identified the fear under that limiting belief. And then we transformed that feel to love by this practice, this emotional repetition. We remember that memory associated with safety. Safety attacks the fear. And then we pair that emotional response from the memory with a counter statement, a logical counter statement. And that's how logical counter statement from the conscious portion of our mind penetrates into subconscious portions of the mind with the emotional repetition, feeling of safety. That's how we basically brainwash or rewire our subconscious mind and get rid of any limiting beliefs. And that happens through emotional repetition. And we do it by the morning when our subconscious, where this border between conscious and subconscious mind is still thin. We do it in the morning. This is the exact process I use with all of my mentorship clients, and it works. But here's where most people stop and why the transformation doesn't stick. They write down the counter statement. They feel inspired for a day. And then life gets busy and the old pattern creeps back in. So I want to do something different with you. Drop your statement down below in the comments right now, and I will personally review every single one and help you tweak it so your rewiring process works faster. And sometimes it will be hard to evoke that emotion of safety. I know that because I was in your shoes. So I created a special safety playlist, and I promise you, if you close your eyes, put your headphones and listen to that playlist while you are mentally reliving that memory where you feel safe, an emotional response from that, from you listening to that music while memorizing, while reliving that memory of your safety, It will give you emotional response down to goosebumps. And if you want to go even deeper, if you want accountability, you want the tools and resources that makes this process foolproof, I've built a free midlife community called Midlife Wisdom, where we learn from one another, share tips and tricks, and just inspire each other. Grab the link below, it's totally free. No course upsell, none of that nonsense. If this video helps and you're able to identify that invisible belief that running your life, if you finally understand why just work harder never worked, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It keeps this channel going so I can share more insights with you and the community. Even with the best intention, our progress in changing limiting beliefs can sometimes hit roadblocks. Picture this, you've identified the belief, done the inner work, and experienced that aha moment, that wonderful aha moment, only to find yourself reverting to the old patterns when life throws an obstacle at you. This is a common thing, and in my experience working with hundreds of clients, lasting change often requires what we call discipline. I've explored this concept in depth in another video that explains why self-help books on how to become more disciplined never worked, and what really helps. Click here and watch it now. I'll see you there.